נתחיל לשיר את השיר שלמדנו בשיעור האחרון. בבקשה, 1, 2, 3.
Friends, let us bless this joyous day. Let us raise a toast to this land. Happy? Oh, yes, we are happy to be here. Our dreams are now our hope fulfilled.
This too is the face of Israel.
Young, new immigrants, anxious to enroll as engineering students of the Technion, must first master Hebrew and learn the history of their old, new homeland. The campus of the Technion on Mount Carmel is never still. There's a constant flow of students relentlessly pursuing their education. There are also moments of reflection and rest. And while new buildings are officially opened, the foundations for others are made ready. Like Israel itself, Technion never ceases to grow. It is an endless chain, this job of teaching and learning, stretching from the classroom and laboratory to the very heart of Israel, where the graduates assume the responsibilities of building a country. Asa Barak, whose grandfather arrived in Palestine in 1882, earned his civil engineering degree at Technion, and today is in charge of Israel's national water carrier.
Shalom. We are standing now near the Jordan Canal, which is part of the national water carrier of Israel. As you probably know, water problem is a big problem in Israel. We have in the central and southern part of Israel about 2/3 of the fertile land with not enough available water to irrigate it. Now the national carrier was designed to deliver about 320 million cubic meters per year from the north of Israel to the south, to the Negev. It is done by pumping stations, reservoir, canals, tunnels, and pipeline. Now the first pumping station is situated in the north of the Sea of Galilee, and it delivers the water through the canal which goes in the foothills of the Galilee Mountains to a pipeline through the Israel Valley and the coastal plain of Israel. You must remember that to us here in Israel, the water is the lifeblood of the country.
The new National Museum in Jerusalem is a showplace of Israel. The design by Mrs. Dora Gad of Tel Aviv and Dr. Alfred Mansfeld of the Technion. In Nazareth, a beautiful new church rises with the aid of Technion know-how. Since the days of King Solomon, only 2 new ships have been built in Israel, the Esther and now the Hannah, named for Hannah Senesh, the young Palestinian girl who parachuted into occupied Europe during the war to bring courage to the Jewish communities and who met death in front of a Nazi firing squad. The engineer in charge, Technion graduate Absalom Kassif. The mother of Hannah Senesh bids the new ship Godspeed. From the sea to the sky and everything in between, there you will see the Technion graduate. The Shalom Meyer Tower, 36 stories tall, the highest building in the Middle East, produces a new vista of the Israel landscape. Lipa Mashorer, chief construction engineer, won his Technion degree in 1953. Architect of the building is fellow Technion graduate Gideon Ziv, class of '52. A mighty Tel Aviv skyscraper. In the design, maintenance, and development of Israel's aircraft industry, You'll find many Technion alumni. David Murchaim, class of 55, chief engineer. Iora Baram, aeronautical designer, class of 61. David Knaz, experimental flights, class of 60. In every facet of Israel's modern defense industries, the Technion man plays a key role. From defense and development to day-to-day food and industrial production, graduates of the Technion are at the helm. Dov Gil, class of 62, who studied food technology, is quality control engineer at one of Israel's leading producers of mayonnaise, margarine, and other foods. The white of the egg must be separated from the yolk in the manufacture of mayonnaise. Testing and checking for quality and purity go on all the time. Israel runs on the fuels produced at the refineries in Haifa. Gasoline, diesel oil, heating oil, aircraft fuel, LPG for cooking, asphalt, all of these are turned out at the Haifa refineries. The Director of Research and Development is Moshe Bar-Elad, who got his chemical engineering degree at Technion in '53 and his master's 2 years later. He is a guest lecturer at the Institute and has been at the refineries for nearly 10 years. His home is now Haifa. His birthplace, Vienna. Nearly 300 people are employed at the plant of petrochemicals, which uses the products and byproducts of the refineries to turn out chemical raw materials, polyethylene and industrial carbon black, needed by the rubber and tire industries in Israel. This expanding plant stands on land that was once a watermelon farm. Chief of the Process Engineering Department is a chemical engineering graduate of Technion, Eliyahu Matiovich, who came to Israel from Czechoslovakia. Responsible for maintenance of the plant is Yair Rotem, class of 59. One of the biggest industrial enterprises in Israel, Chemicals and Phosphates Limited, employs more than 1,300 workers, with many Technion people, directing and researching a wide variety of projects. The director of the fertilizer plant is Shaul Raziel, who received his chemical engineering degree in 1955. Texas sulfur is imported and is turned into sulfuric acid, which is then transformed into granulated fertilizer, a most useful product in a world seeking to expand the production of food. Shaul, who reached Palestine from his native Czechoslovakia in 1939, was once imprisoned by the Egyptians. He had served on an Israeli crew that sailed through the Suez Canal. Affiliated with Columbia Records in the United States is a new Israel company turning out phonograph records for Israel's music-hungry people and for export. Supervising the pressing and electronic testing is Technion graduate Reuben Lowe, class of 54. Not all of Technion's graduates are involved in industry. Many carry on vital research work on the Technion campus, like Avraham Tamir, who received his master's in '64, and whose chemical engineering research work is contributing to the large-scale studies now being carried on in Israel and throughout the world on problems of desalination.
This is the process dynamic and automatic control lab of our chemical engineering department. It consists of equipment which is used in industry, but in a smaller scale. We have also an analog computer which helps us to solve immediately process control problems. The purpose of this lab is to bring undergraduate students into direct contact with problems they would encounter when they enter Israel's growing industry.
The graduates working throughout Israel, the trained people pressing ahead with research projects in the Technion laboratories, the students on the campus, and the great reservoir of support that exists throughout the free world for the Technion. They all form an endless chain. Maurice Rosen, president of the American Technion Society, meets some of the students.
What part of South Africa are you from, Martin?
I'm from Johannesburg.
Well, you're a long ways from home.
Yeah, I really am. Once in a year, once every 2 years, it takes me before I get back home.
Tell me, how did you happen to decide on the Technion?
You might say it was chance that helped me, although a very fortunate chance. I glanced in the papers, saw there was an opportunity of a scholarship here. Here I am.
Well, there's about 2/3 of the students here on scholarship, you know.
I think that shows keenness for study, don't you?
What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in theoretical physics.
Then you're studying at the Albert Einstein Institute.
That's right. Every time we come in the morning, we see his picture on the wall, source of inspiration.
How do you find the course of study?
Well, hard, but of a very high standard and very interesting.
Well, that's purposeful, you know.
Of course, one couldn't expect to just drift through without learning anything.
No, the emphasis is on quality here. Back in the America, we referred to the Technion as the MIT of Israel.
That makes us feel really proud.
Well, we're proud of you boys.
Well, one has to study, one has to achieve something.
I wish you the best of luck, and shalom, shalom.
Thank you. Shalom.
Dina, I know you have difficulty with English, but I have more difficulty with Hebrew or French. So let's try to speak in English.
Well,
Tell me, where do you come from, Dina?
I come from Morocco.
Morocco?
Yes.
What city in Morocco?
Rabat.
Rabat. Well, that's on the Atlantic. That's a long ways from here.
Yes.
Is your family here with you?
No, my family lives in Morocco.
Oh, then you're here alone.
Yes.
Are you living on the Technion campus?
Yes. I live in the Technion.
How many dormitories do they have here for girls?
Only one.
And how many for the boys?
7.
And the boys bothering you? They want a lot of dates?
We have no time.
You have no time. Why is that?
Studying.
Studying. What is your major? What are you studying?
I study mathematics.
And you're working for a Bachelor's of Science degree?
Yes.
And then what do you want to do?
I want to do research.
You want to do research in mathematics?
Yes.
Why did you select mathematics?
I don't know. I like this.
You like math. Do you find the studies difficult here?
It's not so difficult, but on the beginning it was because of the language.
So you had a little language difficulty.
Yes.
Do you intend to live in Israel all your life?
Yes.
And your family will be joining you shortly.
Yes. I hope they are coming to Israel too.
Well, they will be here. Shalom.
Shalom.
What is your name?
My name is Matthew Akonobi.
Matthew, where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
How long have you been here at the Technion?
I've been here for the past 7 months.
Tell me, how did you happen to decide on a Technion for your education?
Well, I came through the government of my country. I was recommended to come here and study.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying agricultural engineering.
Agricultural engineering?
Yes.
Is that going to be a 4-year course?
It's going to be a 4-year course. Yes.
And you will
for
get
the bachelor's.
And you will get your bachelor's degree.
Yes, I get my bachelor's degree.
Well, how do you find life here at the Technion?
Well, life here in the Technion is just like life in other universities, except that there are some, say, in the social life, we haven't got much social life in the Technion.
Do you find your studies difficult?
I wouldn't say it's difficult or easy now, because I have a lot of way to go yet.
Well, after 7 months, are you happy that you made the decision to come here?
Yes, I'm really happy to be here.
What is your language of instruction?
English.
English?
Yes.
Have you learned any Hebrew during your stay?
Yes, I must say I've learned a lot of Hebrew.
Well, that's more than I can say.
I don't know exactly.
Matthew, lots of luck to you, and shalom.
Shalom. Todarabah.
The new president of the Technion, Mr. Alexander Goldberg, and the president of the American Society.
I understand this to be a 5-year plan, Mr. Goldberg?
Yes, although we shall probably have to extend it. We're not taking in enough students at the moment. With the enrollment of this year, which will bring us up to a total of about 3,000 students, undergraduate students, plus about 1,200 postgraduate students, we shall not be supplying the country with all its requirements of technical manpower. And I think we shall have to start thinking seriously about duplicating facilities and extending some of the buildings. As you notice, we're putting in many more dormitories, at least we're planning to. At the moment, we can only let second and third year students live in the dormitories. First year students have to live out. This puts students from far away to disadvantage, and we're trying to increase our dormitory accommodation.
I was most reassured this morning to hear the Prime Minister's remarks at our Board of Governors meeting, only confirming what I had already felt, and that is the paramount role that the Technion plays in the economic and military security of this country.
We've got to do all our own development and all our own thinking. We have to stand on our own feet. I know that this is a joint venture of ours, and we're glad you come here, see what we're doing, and we hope that you're going to come much more frequently in the future. Shalom.
Shalom, and you can be assured that we're looking to the future and shall not rest on our past accomplishments.
Thank you.
At the Technion, students are transformed into engineers and architects, scientists and research specialists. In a very real sense of the word, they are the builders of Israel, today and tomorrow.